Claude destroyed OpenClaw. Here are 5 free alternatives that still work. Your AI setup just got wrecked overnight. Something changed this week that nobody was prepared for. And if you're using OpenClaw with Claude right now, you're about to hit a wall. Thousands of people woke up to a broken workflow and no warning. You might be one of them. Maybe you're watching this before it hits you. Either way, I'm about to show you exactly what happened and how to fix it for free. I'm the digital avatar of Julian Goldie, and I help people learn and implement AI tools in their work without wasting time or getting burned by changes like this one. And this one is big. So stick with me because I'm going to cover 5 actual alternatives that still work right now. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which one fits your setup. Let me explain what happened first because you need to understand this to make a smart decision about what to do next. On April 4th, 2026, Anthropic flipped a switch. Starting at noon Pacific time, Claude Pro and Max subscribers could no longer use their flat subscription limits to power third-party tools like OpenClaw. It's gone. Boris Cherny, the head of Claude Code at Anthropic, made the announcement on X. His exact words were that subscriptions were never built for the usage patterns of these third-party tools, and that Anthropic is prioritizing customers using their core products and API. Here's why this actually makes sense from a business perspective, even if it stings. A person using Claude in a normal chat window is relatively predictable. Type, they wait, they read. But an OpenClaw agent running autonomously all day long, that is a completely different beast. One analyst pointed out that a single OpenClaw instance running for a full day could burn through the equivalent of between $1,000 and $5,000 in API costs. Anthropic was eating that difference on every user who routed through a third-party tool under a flat subscription. Testing from a German tech publication called Seat 3003 confirmed this. They found that one day of OpenClaw usage on Claude's Opus model consumed over $100 in tokens. Meanwhile, Anthropic's own data says the average professional developer using Claude Code spends about $6 a day, with 90% of users staying under $12. That gap is enormous. Something had to give. And there's another layer to this. Peter Steinberger, the Austrian developer who built OpenClaw, had just announced he was joining OpenAI back in February. He said both he and a board member tried to talk Anthropic out of this move, and the best they could do was delay it by a week. Steinberger wasn't subtle about how he felt. He said, "Funny how timings match up. First they copy some popular features into their closed harness, then they lock out open source." Over 135,000 OpenClaw instances were running at the time of the announcement. That's a lot of people suddenly scrambling for a fix. Now, here's the thing. Anthropic isn't banning third-party tools forever. You can still use Claude with OpenClaw, but now you have to pay through their extra usage bundles at pay-as-you-go rates, or connect via a direct API key that bills per token. They also offered affected subscribers a one-time credit equal to their monthly plan cost, and they're offering pre-purchase extra usage bundles at up to 30% off for people who want to keep using Claude specifically. Honestly, for a lot of people, that's still way more expensive than before. So here's what you actually care about. How do you keep your agents running without paying more? I've got 5 solid options for you right now, and I'm going to break each one down. Before I do that, I want to mention something. When I first started using AI agent tools seriously, I was constantly confused about which tools were worth building on and which ones were going to leave me stuck. That's actually why I created a community called AI Profit Boardroom. We've got over 2,000 members all focused on learning AI together and sharing what actually works in real workflows. Hype, not theory, just practical implementation. People share what's saving them time and what's wasting it. If you're serious about staying ahead of changes like this one, check it out. Link is in the description. All right, let's get into the 5 alternatives. Option 1 is Qwen 3.6 Plus on OpenRouter, and this one is completely free right now. Alibaba quietly dropped Qwen 3.6 Plus preview on March 30th, 2026 directly on OpenRouter. A waitlist. A payment. $0 per million input tokens. $0 per million output tokens. Model ID you need is Qwen 3.6 plus preview.free. Here's what makes this actually impressive and not just a free throwaway model. It has a 1 million token context window. That is massive. These free models top out at 8,000 to 32,000 tokens. Getting 1 million tokens for free is genuinely unusual. It also has built-in chain of thought reasoning, native tool use support, and it was specifically built for agentic workflows. On the SWE Bench verified benchmark for coding agents, it scored 78.8. Early community testing on OpenRouter reported it running at around 3 times the output speed of Claude Opus 4.6 in some token per second tests. To use it inside OpenClaw, you configure it through OpenRouter with an OpenAI compatible endpoint. Walk through the exact setup in the video, starting around the 2-minute mark, including using Claude Code to get the configuration right. If you want to keep using OpenClaw and pay nothing for the model itself, this is your first move. Option 2 is Ollama's cloud plan. Ollama lets you run open source models locally or via their cloud offering. Their cloud plan is around $20 a month and gives you access to multiple models. The setup is done entirely through the terminal when switching models inside OpenClaw. I show the step-by-step at the 10-minute mark in the full video. One thing worth mentioning here is why some people prefer OpenClaw over Claude Code for agent workflows specifically. OpenClaw's local first architecture keeps your data in simple markdown files on your own hardware. It doesn't lock anything away in a cloud system you don't control. For people who care about data privacy or just want to know exactly where their information lives, that matters. And with Ollama, that local first approach stays completely intact. Option 3 is Atomic Chat. This one lets you run OpenClaw locally for free with a one-click setup. No cloud costs at all. Deep dive into this one starting around the 27-minute mark in the full tutorial, including how to add your OpenRouter API key inside Atomic Chat, so you can use free models like Qwen 3.6 through it. There's also a walkthrough of setting up cross-agent memory sync using a combination of Hermes and Honcho, which is genuinely useful if you're running multiple agents that need to share context. You can even run Hermes completely free using Gemma 4 through Ollama locally with zero API costs. I cover that at the 56-minute mark. Option 4 is the GLM coding plan. GLM is designed to be Claude compatible, meaning it plugs into OpenClaw without much friction. It's a low-cost option aimed at developers running coding agents. Pricing is cheap and the integration is straightforward. If you want a quick drop-in replacement that doesn't require a massive setup, this is worth testing. Option 5 is the Minimax coding plan. Minimax runs at around $10 a month. It's another Claude compatible option that works inside OpenClaw. Not as flashy as Qwen 3.6 in terms of raw specs, but it's a budget-friendly paid option if you want something stable and don't want to rely on free tier availability. Honest take, start with Qwen 3.6 on OpenRouter. It's free right now and it's capable enough for serious agent work. Test it against your actual workflow. If you hit limits on the free tier or you need something more stable for production, Ollama or Minimax are solid fallbacks. And if privacy and keeping things fully local is your priority, Atomic Chat with local Ollama models is the cleanest setup. Bigger picture here is worth saying out loud. Anthropic is not alone in doing this. Google has hard caps on their Gemini plans now. Cursor revisited pricing in 2025 to deal with disproportionate usage. Replit did the same. The era of unlimited agentic AI usage bundled into flat subscriptions is narrowing across the board. Knowing how to run capable models without depending on one locked provider is becoming a real skill, not just a nice to have. That's exactly what we focus on in AI Profit Boardroom. Over 2,000 people learning how to use AI tools effectively and sharing real experiences. What's working? What's not? Which tools are worth your time? Which ones to skip? No hype. Just solid information and practical guidance from people doing the work. It's helped me stay on top of updates and figure out how to actually apply them to real workflows. Link is in the description if you want to check it out.